A Vort from the Rebbe on this week's Parsha, Parshas Pinchas. In Parshas Pinchas, we learn about the special karbonas that they had to bring in special times. But it starts off, when it talks about the karbonas, that section in the Parsha starts off with the korban tomid. That every day you had to bring a korban tomid, twice a day. And the korban tomid was a korban eila. Korban tomid is that they were makriv, they sacrificed a sheep. Twice a day, one in the morning, one in the afternoon. And it was a korban eila. The difference between a korban eila and other karbonas, there's part that goes on the mizbeach, on the altar. Basically, that's for Hashem. And part of it is eaten by the kohanim. Some are even eaten by the owner of the korban, etc., etc. Korban eila goes completely on the mizbeach. Every part of the korban is burnt on the mizbeach. And this is the korban that they had to bring every day. And the posik, when it refers to the korban tomid, it says in this week's parsha, Eilas tomid, it's a korban eila, as I said, which is burned completely. Tomid, which is constant, which means every single day of the year. Ho'asuyo b'har Sinai, which was made in mountain of Sinai, Har Sinai. What does that mean? It means that the korban tomid that they brought every day was similar to the korban tomid that was brought by Har Sinai. And Rashi has two pshatim, but the first pshat of Rashi is, which obviously is the main pshat because that's the first, that it means ka'esom shenasu b'mei hamiluim, that the korban tomid that you bring every day is similar to the korban tomid that was brought in the days of the miluyim. The days of the miluyim were the days of the inauguration of the Mishkan. Before the Mishkan was put up permanently, till the next time they traveled, but it put up to stay, they put up the Mishkan 7 days before. Every day they put it up and took it apart again for 7 days. And then was the 8th day, and they are called Yemei HaMiluyim. These 7 days are called days of inauguration. Then the 8th day of inauguration was the special celebration, etc., etc. So we're saying here, the Pasuk is telling us that the korban tomid that he brought always is similar to the korban tomid that he brought in the days of the Miluyim. The obvious question is, why connect it to the days of the Miluyim? What's so special about the days of Miluyim that we're telling you that the korban tomid that you always brought is similar to the korban tomid of the days of the Miluyim of the inauguration? What was special then in the korban tomid that we have to say that every korban tomid from all the years is similar to the korban tomid of the Mei HaMiluyim? And the Rebbe explains it like this. One of the things that happened special in the days of the Miluyim is that Moshe Rabbeinu himself was the one that was makriv the karbonas. All the other times, the kohanim were makriv, they sacrificed the karbonas. During the days of the Miluyim, Moshe Rabbeinu was the one that was makriv the karbonas. That's so special on the karbonas of the days of the Miluyim. And this is what the Rebbe says means beruchni. It's not a simple pshat. A simple pshat that needs other pshatim. But beruchni is in Avodas Hashem. How to apply this in Avodas Hashem? This means like this. The yin of the korban tomid represents the idea that every yid is expected and has the ability to give himself over completely to Hashem. A korban means you're giving yourself over to Hashem. The word korban comes from the word kiruv, you get closer to Hashem. So the karbonas represent that you are giving yourself over to Hashem. But other karbonas represent not that you're giving yourself up completely, because part of it was not put on the mizbeach, part of it was eaten. Korban eila represents that you give yourself over completely to Hashem. And when you bring the korban eila, it represents this idea that the yid is supposed to give himself over completely to Hashem. The question is, how is it possible? We need special koyach for this. It's not easy to give yourself over completely to Hashem. Other kabbanas which represent partially giving over to Hashem, that's possible, that's easier. But to give yourself over like a korban eila, that's much harder. So we need a special koyach. And that's what the posuk says. The korban tomid, the korban eilas tomid, which represent the giving yourself over completely to Hashem constantly, that's every time you do that, which means every time a yid does that aveda, he has the koyach for it, because it's similar to the korban tomid, the eilas tomid that was done by Yemei HaMiluyim, which was done through Moshe Rabbeinu. In other words, Moshe Rabbeinu gives the koyach to Yidden that they should be able to accomplish this aveda. This is what this means. So, this is why the posik compares the korban eilas tomid to the korbanos, the korban tomid that was brought in the Yemei HaMiluyim, to tell you that just like over there Moshe Rabbeinu brought it, when he brought it, that gave the koyach for the Korban Tomid throughout all the days, all the generations, that every Yid has the ability, if he only wants and he works on it, to give himself over completely to Hashem, and whatever he does should only be l'shem shemayim, only for the sake of Hashem.